Thanks again for joining us at the 2021 Sloan Sports Analytics Conference Competitive Advantage Talks, presented by Kager, also known as the Kraft Analytics Group. My name is Kurt Bullard, and I am a first-year MBA student at MIT Sloan. Today, it's my pleasure to welcome our next presentation, the top 25 most innovative teams in the world. Please join me in welcoming our speaker, Angela Ruggiero, CEO and co-founder of Sports Innovation Lab.
Thanks for having me. So I'm very excited today to present some of our groundbreaking research on the top 25 most innovative teams in the world. I'm Angela Ruggiero, a four-time Olympian in the sport of ice hockey, and now, as you heard, the co-founder and CEO of a market research company called Sports Innovation Lab. So if those of you that don't know who we are, we provide next generation data, intelligence, strategy for the whole sports ecosystem. We really are leading a revolution to better understand the fan. We know that increasingly properties, brands, technology vendors are coming into sports, a lot of capital being deployed. We need real-time answers to very high stakes decisions around better servicing the fan. So we're fan experience experts. Think of Sports Innovation Lab as fan experience experts. And again, we service clients from Google, Intel, Cisco, the technology giants, and also work with the properties, the NHL, NFLs of the world. So we're at the core, listening to the market, talking to the market, supporting the market. So that's really what our company is all about. And everything we do is backed by data. That's what this research report really is. We're here to empower everyone to make better data-driven decisions. So a big trend that I don't have to speak much against, you all know, is COVID's accelerated change in the sports industry. We already knew and saw that fans are behaving very differently. Our fluid fan research, if you haven't heard of it, sportsilab.com, I would encourage you to download it. All of our research has pointed that fans are buying, watching, connecting. They're doing things differently. They are more digitally savvy. They need a better experience. And COVID has absolutely accelerated change for those fans, but also the interest in the industry to do more differently, to really create more meaningful fan experiences. Because after all, we are in the attention economy, the experience economy, and sports really needs to do more, we're seeing, to stay engaged with this next generation consumer. So if you want to look at the rankings, this report, again, was taking all of our years of fluid fan research, all the research we've been doing around what's going to actually create a breakthrough and meaningful and memorable experience to keep your fans coming back. We started with data, and our methodology said, okay, we can't look at every single league, every single team in the world. Let's start with the top 10 leagues with the top gross revenue. So we started with revenue grossing leagues. From that, we winnowed down, again, all the teams that came out of that. We brainstormed and really thought about what are the key areas of innovation. We've been studying innovation again. It's a birth of our company is around what do you do to service that future fan? Not just the traditional revenue streams. And so what we came up with through the last 4+ years that we applied to this ranking are three things: revenue diversification, organizational agility, and technology alignment to your fan. Again, not just looking at traditional revenue streams. I think that's really important. When we think about innovative teams, we're not looking at traditional media buy, traditional sponsorship spend, traditional ticketing sales. It's all the other ways that you're thinking about servicing that fluid fan, that future fan, the growth engine within sports, those new age consumers that are digitally savvy and want more. So all of our research applied to this methodology between those three pillars. And again, to put it in perspective, revenue diversification. This is all about thinking outside of just traditional revenue. It's thinking about what are the ways that you go beyond those four pillars. Organizational agility, again, is about what are you thinking about in terms of access to new ideas, access to new talent. What are the new ways that you're thinking outside of the box to make sure that you look and can understand your future and current fan base? And technology alignment, again, is it's not just tech for tech's sake. There's a lot of flashy whiz bang companies, new technologies, a lot of technology properties hitting the market. And our technology alignment is really, are you building experiences, investing in the right technology that align to the behaviors of your fans that they're increasingly expecting? So high level, those are the three pillars. We used our proprietary technology engine and analyzed over 150,000 market signals over the past 2 years. Again, we've been mapping the market uh, for since day one at Sports Innovation Lab, really looking at market maps and trends, and we try to apply all these different data points to our methodology so that you, when you read that report, you think this isn't just an opinion. This isn't just another, we got into a room to decide. It's really data backed. It's something that we can credibly stand behind and make recommendations to the industry on what to do. This isn't just another ranking. It's really a strategic roadmap for growth. So let's dive into it. The top 25 most innovative teams as a group have some really interesting trends. We summarize those on this page. At a high level, our methodology rewards a strong push to own first-party data about their fans. At Sports Innovation Lab, we always talk about you need a more personalized experience. You need to know who your fan is. It's the number one question we get asked. Who is our fan? How do we better service them? So before you dive into big build by partner decisions, you really need to understand your fan, and a lot of teams do not. So we reward those that are attempting to. Again, one very clear way to do that is to own your own OTT, over the top platform or digital platform. It's a very powerful asset. It will absolutely increase your valuation, but it's also a great way to understand your fan, to collect data points on your fan. And unfortunately, very few North American teams are doing that. We see a lot of investment in this space, outside of the Yankees and the Cubs and others. Mostly OTT buildouts have been on the International Football Club side. So the global properties are doing a much better job, in our opinion, of diversifying their products and their media, and are making strong commitments to other areas. Again, I talked about you need to know your fan base. There are other channels to getting a fan to buy your core business. So we're here in Boston. I'll take the Celtics as an example. Do they have a women's arm? Do they have an esports arm? Are they building out an OTT channel? What are the other ways that you can actually get fans to engage with you that lead to, again, a bigger pie, bigger enterprise value, and more ways to actually interact with your fan that aren't just your core consumer? So high level trends from this page, again, international, without a doubt. They think globally. You're building your products and services to connect to your fan, thinking globally. Fan ownership opportunities. 28% of the teams that we had in this, had fan ownership opportunities, which meant they just don't just own a stake. They actually own an ability to speak to the fan base and what they want and the ownership structure. 72% in a mixed use environment. This again was key. We believe at Sports Innovation Lab that this mixed use district, fans want to come not just for a game now, they want to come before, during, and after. They want an entertainment ecosystem. And a lot of the teams, 72% actually that scored in this top 25, have already invested in that physical infrastructure build out. Very key to capturing fluid fans before, during, and after. I mentioned the 56% of have an OTT platform compared to just 14% of all teams. Again, that big delta there speaks to what we're saying. You got to know your fan and give them an offering that delivers something when they want it, how they want it, and in a different way than traditional linear. 4 teams in California, not surprising. Silicon Valley, the investment we're seeing there. 40% offer an incubator program. I thought this was really interesting, again, compared to 14% of all the other teams. you need access to ideas and talent. That is core to innovation. You can't just rely on your own internal team. Incubators actually provide you a window into not just really great talent and people, but also different product offerings and ways that that new products are thinking about better servicing the market. So again, we're focused on innovation, not just traditional revenue streams. Renovation, 76%, no surprise. 52% wanted have a women's arm. This was really interesting too. Again, a lot of the big four here in North America haven't invested. We see the WNBA. If you go to international football clubs, a lot of investment because they recognize there is absolutely a market that wants women's sports. And if you could bring them in through the women's arm, you might also be able to sell them more and service them more on their traditional men's side, or vice versa. Sports betting, again, everyone's talking about sports betting. No surprise, 76% of these teams have a sports betting partner. Again, some geographical limitations to our analysis. Some teams here in the U.S. In North America, it's not legal yet, but we know those where it's legal have already invested and know this is a great way to increase engagement with fans that want to better utilize that behavior. Fan ownership groups, I touched on business intelligence functions. I mean, Sloan is all about this. You want to have data internally. You need the money ball effect, so to speak, not just playing out on the field, but really off the field in your business team. You need to know your fans. You need to know what to do. Having a business intelligence team is key to that. So a lot of really interesting things here. Social media, threw that out there. 44% have it in more than one language. That's just a low-level thing you can do. Change your language, you reach more fans. So who made the list? Let's dive into it. Spoiler alert, if you go onto this page and you've already seen it, the majority were actually international football clubs, with Man City Football Club leading the way, the most innovative team in the world from the Sports Innovation Lab in 2021 is Man City Football Club. They check the box on everything from the prior slide. They just crush it. I'll get into it in a second, but high level, you've got 6 NBA teams. So the number one ranking league is the NBA. We talk a lot about how innovative they are. They definitely had the most teams. English Premier League also had 6 teams. Unfortunately, only one MLB team, not a lot, none actually on the NHL side. There's a few leagues that, for obvious reasons, whether it came from the league level, how they were structured actually could affect their score. They're giving rights and ownership and opportunity at the team level to innovate and do things differently, or is the command and control structure set up such that it's actually hard for some of these teams? That's a lot of what our research uncovered, that those leagues that allow their teams to try new things, have some ownership, actually scored better based on our methodology of, you got to be in your market, both locally and globally. And again, high level football clubs, international, scored the best here. So if you want to know more about the number one team in the world, Man City, you can see they absolutely crushed the technology focus. They are by far invested, trying out not just depth of product, but breadth of product. They're trying everything, doing new things. Some of that might come off of the fact that, no surprise, one of their lead investors is Sapphire Sports, a $115 million venture fund. Again, they're exploring new products and services before others. Citi also invests heavily in youth development and uses technology to scale programs targeted at this demographic. Sometimes we think, oh, the federations, the national Olympic committees, the government will invest in youth. Man City said, look, we're going to invest and it's going to pay dividends because we know that those young people are going to turn into fans for us. So, for example, Man City was the first team to launch on YouTube Kids. They know they want to get to kids where they are, which is YouTube, channel that's dedicated to 12 and under age group. And they've partnered with groups such as Capstone Games to provide digital experiences fan use to act as a football manager and make critical game time decisions. So they're experimenting, actually giving young people access and ways for fans to directly engage with them. In addition to all the brand and tech alignment that Citi uses on their social platforms, it also gets very high marks for its revenue diversification, something everyone is scratching their head trying to figure out, especially during COVID. How do we drive more revenue in spite of fans not being butts in seats, paying for tickets, being on TV to the same extent it was? And look, Man City's been investing in revenue diversification for decades. They scored extremely well. Just look at the development of their Etihad campus, a multi-use district around the stadium. Gives Man City a hub of various media and entertainment experiences. Again, fans want before, during, and after, not just the game day, not just for a limited period. That's not just a better experience, it's also more revenue. So they've already built at that campus. And I talked to this before, they absolutely continue to collect first party fan data from their fans globally. They are not just a local English team. They are absolutely a global brand. They think about it in terms of a global brand, and a personalized experience. So that's your number one innovative team in the world, Man City, definitely leading the way. Again, the three pillars before I close: revenue diversification, think outside of the box. If you're just relying on traditional revenue streams of broadcast, long-term broadcast rights that tie you up for all these new innovative ways, think about parsing that apart and thinking, how do you actually connect with the fans? Sponsorship, we all know there's a lot of make goods during. How else are you thinking about your sponsorship? Are you data driven? Are you really creating new ways to get and use those channel partners of brands to touch your consumer, your fan? What are the other ways, again, on the revenue diversification? Are you driving revenue and interest in your brand regardless if there's a game going on or not? It's that 24/7, 365 approach that we appreciated and said, we're going to score those teams most highly that are thinking outside of the box. What are you doing to invest in technology? Again, this is all about alignment to the fan itself. You have to know the behaviors of your fan. That's what we specialize in at Sports Innovation Lab. What are the behaviors you want your fans to do? Don't invest in technology just for technology's sake. Optimize your spend for those behaviors like betting or sharing or co-watching or providing more access to your athletes. Those are all backed into technology investments. So we scored, again, those that are investing in the right technologies that are driving a better fan experience for those behaviors that your fans are demanding. Know your fan and build the right technology solutions on top of that. And then finally, you can't do anything without people. Organizational agility. You have to be thinking outside of the box. Do you have a diverse group in age, in gender, in all the markers that, again, are representative of your fan? Do you have incubators? Do you have new ways to access ideas? Don't just rely on the same old, same old. Really gets out of your box. Do you have a business analytics team that's looking and pushing your group to think differently? Are you structured in a way that can optimize your spend and make the right decisions today? So lots to think about. If you want to learn more about the rest of the top 25 most innovative teams in sports, reach out to me, reach out to our team at sportsilab.com. Download the report. You can also learn all about the fluid fan, which is absolutely key to what I discussed today. It's the foundational element to the top 25 most innovative teams in the world report, which is our strategic roadmap for growth. Don't think about this as a list. If I didn't finish with that, this isn't a list. This is a strategic roadmap. If you want to grow the enterprise value of your team and you have, lots of different ideas, we're trying to focus you on three things that we believe, again, will drive that growth. And they all come off the back of the fluid fan, the fan that's here, that's disrupting the industry. You're trying to wrap your head around it. You got to know what they want to build the right technology experiences. So that's it for me, the top 25 teams in the world. We will be back next year with a follow-up report. We're refining our methodology. We're refining our data. Hopefully we get an NHL team and others on next year. But again, a lot going on in the industry. Hopefully this report helps you. And whatever you choose to do, wherever you are in the world, thank you for spending time with Sports Innovation Lab. And I'm Angela Ruggiero, the CEO. I'll hopefully see you soon.